Hello guys, today we are going to discuss another important topic for 1000 practice questions in this series. Okay, today's session is 9. Okay, so NEET PYQ in the human reproductive system. Make sure there are 1 or 2 questions human reproductive system and 1 or 2 questions from the reproductive health. Out of 45, about reproduction, it's about 3 to 4 questions from this topic. This is the most important topic in the human physiology. It is also in depth of analysis need for while reading of NCERT line by line. Okay, today we are going to discuss MCQs relevant topic, which is the question Sertoli cells are regulated by which one of the following hormone. Especially if come to the reproductive system, mainly hormones they can ask you. What are the hormones? What they can important role they can play in the reproductive system. Okay, the hormones are especially the Sertoli cells which are regulated by hormones are LH luteinizing hormone, FSH follicle stimulating hormone, and testosterone and inhibin. Okay, these are the hormones which are involved in the human reproductive system. What are these hormones? How they they can regulate the Sertoli cells? What are the Sertoli cells actually? Okay, yeah, these hormones are released by hypothalamus. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna tell you. Yeah, these hormones, especially what is Sertoli cells? Okay, follicle stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone, testosterone and inhibin. This testosterone and inhibin, follicle stimulating and luteinizing hormone, they are produced by hypothalamus. Hypothalamus, there are gonadotropin releasing hormone, GnRH, gonadotropin releasing hormone, they can produce from the hypothalamus. Hypothalamus give the signal into the pituitary gland. Pituitary can release FSH and LH, FSH and LH. Pituitary can release FSH and LH. This is anterior pituitary part. Anterior pituitary. Okay, yeah, guys, just look into here how they can involve follicle stimulating hormone. Actually, this hormone, follicle stimulating hormone, is the right answer for this. What they can do in the seminiferous tubule, actually FSH which is produced, they can encourage the Sertoli cells located seminiferous tubule which is located in the Sertoli cells. So FSH, this is the hormone which is binding to the Sertoli cell. binding to the Sertoli cell for various functions. For various functions. What are the functions here? What are the functions? For the development of male gametes that's spermatozoa the sperm, actually sperm, for the development of sperm. And there is another function, it is binding to the androgen binding protein. Androgen binding protein and inhibin protein and inhibin. Androgen binding protein ABP. These are the functions. Okay, these functions are involved in the spermatogenesis, involves spermatogenesis, spermatogenesis. Okay, this is, yeah, Sertoli cells are supported by FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. It is the FSH, if they can support the Sertoli cells, these Sertoli cells actually for the development of the male gametes, that is sperm development, and they can bind the androgen binding protein ABP and inhibin protein. I am going to explain this, what is androgen binding protein and inhibin protein in the class, okay, in the reproductive class, in the concepts where the male gametes and female gametes supported by the hormones. I am going to explain that what is ABP, what is inhibin, the role of the Sertoli cells and follicle stimulating hormones, especially these hormones which is luteinizing hormone, follicle stimulating hormone, which is produced by the gonadotropin releasing hormones. Gonadotropin releasing hormone, especially they can produce from the hypothalamus. Hypothalamus is where it is, hypothalamus, okay, hypothalamus, this is the brain. If it is brain, there is diencephalon part of the third ventricle of the brain. This is the third ventricle of the brain. This part, down part is hypothalamus, down part is hypothalamus, the below the hypothalamus, this is the hypothalamus, this mid part of the third ventricle, thalamus, the above this third ventricle, epithalamus, that is pineal gland, we can call pineal gland. These guys, three, epithalamus, thalamus and hypothalamus, together we can call the part of diencephalon. Diencephalon. Okay. The below hypothalamus there is a gland called pituitary gland. Below hypothalamus there is a gland which is we can call pituitary gland. Pituitary gland. Okay. Yeah. Just look into here. The hypothalamus, they can release hormone GnRH. Hypothalamus, they can release hormone GnRH, gonadotropin releasing hormone, into the pituitary gland. That can be stimulate the pituitary to release this anterior pituitary release this FSH and LH hormones. This is the mechanism where the hypothalamus produce these hormones. This is the hormone FSH involved in the Sertoli cell for the make of the sperm development called spermatogenesis. I hope you guys understand this. Okay? Yes. Yeah, next question. Take a screenshot if you want. Okay? Yeah. Next question. Yeah, it's NEET 2023. NEET 2023. Yeah. Acrosome of a sperm which is derived from. Acrosome is the cell organelles which is they can involve the sperm structure development. Okay? Yeah. That is which is the cell organelle? It is the direct question. Okay? Golgi body, mitochondria, nucleus and centrioles. As you know guys, which is very simple question. Sometimes they can ask you very simple questions also. Okay? Yes. This is the option A is Golgi complex, Golgi body. Okay? Yeah. This is the answer guys. Okay? This is the answer. Golgi body, direct question 2023. Okay? Yes. If come to the next question. Yeah. The secretion of which hormone bring about the sudden increase of the maturation of the Graafian follicle and ovulation. Graafian follicle and ovulation, which hormone, which is like the secretion of which hormone brings about the sudden increase of maturation of Graafian follicle and ovulation. Okay? It is also direct question, that is LH, luteinizing hormone is direct question about 2021. Okay? Yes. If come to the next question. Yeah, which is NEET 2020. Which of the following is not a function of placenta? Not a function of placenta. Some students or they don't recognize this not word. Okay? Yeah, not function of placenta. Secretes estrogens, facilitate the removal of carbon dioxide, facilitate the supply of oxygen, secretes oxytocin. Okay? Yeah, secretes estrogen, follicle stimulating hormone, sorry, it is facilitate the removal of carbon dioxide and oxygen. Of course, there is a blood diffusion, there is a gases like oxygen and CO2 transfer from mother to fetus the process called diffusion. The process called diffusion. Not a blood transfusion. There is no blood transfer between them. Okay, mother and baby, there is no blood transfer. There is a process called diffusion through the placenta, through the this function of placenta. Through the placenta, there is a blood oxygen and carbon dioxide which is transferred from the mother to fetus. The process called diffusion through the placenta. Not there is no blood directly transfer. So carbon dioxide they can eliminate through the process diffusion through the placenta, and oxygen also. These are there is a direct of the function of placenta. And secrete estrogen also. Sometimes placenta also act an endocrine activity. Placenta also secrete hormone which is estrogen. They involve in the endocrine activity. Placenta also involves in endocrine activity. Endocrine activity. The answer is secretes oxytocin. The answer is secretes oxytocin. Oxytocin which is released after birth. Okay, yeah, guys, this is the right answer is secrete oxytocin. Which of the following is not function of placenta? Not function of placenta. Placenta can secrete estrogen, act as endocrine activity, facilitate removal of carbon dioxide, okay, and facilitate the supply of oxygen, okay, through the process diffusion between the mother and fetus. Okay, this is secretes of oxytocin is not about the work of placenta. I hope you guys understand this. Next question. Yeah, the cleavage of zygote is, cleavage of zygote. Zygote is what? This is 2019 question. 2019 question in the development process. Okay, in the reproduction development process. What is zygote? Zygote is what? Zygote nothing but fusion of male female gametes, fusion of, this is sperm, okay, and female gametes together to form, there is a cell called zygote. Male female gametes to fertile, there is a fertilization going to take place to form a cell. This fusion cell, one cell, okay, this is the stem cell, to produce next two cells, okay, two cells become four cells, like this is the development strategy which is going to take place. One cells to become two cells become four cells up to 18 to 16 formula which is blastula, like this, okay, 16 to 32 cell produce next, okay. This is the process going to take place in the development of the baby, development of the zygote, that is meiotic division which is reduction of the cells, reduction of the cells from 2n status to n status, 2n status to n status, where it is going to take place in the gametes formation. In the gamete formation, development of the gametes, there is a meiotic division is going to take place, okay, in the gamete formation. Okay. Next, reduction division also going to take place in the gamete formation itself. Amniotic division, it is not going to take place, it is worthless option in the zygote. Okay. Yes, mitotic division itself involved in the this development process. Mitotic division is the right answer about this question, guys. Okay. Yes. Yeah, we've come to the next question. I hope you guys understand this. Okay. Yes. Next question. Yeah, which hormone is responsible for the maintenance of pregnancy? Maintenance of pregnancy, which is progesterone, oxytocin, luteinizing hormone, and prolactin. Okay. Yeah, maintenance of pregnancy, which is oxytocin, okay, which is oxytocin. Yes, direct question. Next question. The membrane cover of the ovum at ovulation is. This is also important question, which is 2017, guys. 2017. Okay. The membranous cover, okay, of ovum at ovulation is okay, zona pellucida, corona radiata, vitelline membrane, and chorion. Okay. This is worthless. These are the layers of the ova. These are the layers of the secondary follicles, that is ova. Okay. But during the ovulation, which layer which is involved in the ovulation? Ovulation nothing but this is the ova. Okay. This is the layer which is corona radiata. This is the layer zona pellucida. Zona pellucida. This is corona radiata. Okay. Corona radiata. Okay. Vitelline membrane is there, perivitelline membrane. Okay. Before that, there is a ova which is sperm. If the sperm enter during the ovulation, there is a receptors, ZP3 receptors involved in this. ZP3 receptors. Okay. ZP3 receptors, they can accept the sperm which is enter into the ovulation. So, zona pellucida layer which is involved in the ovulation, through the ZP3 receptors. Through the ZP3 receptor, they can accept only human sperm. Okay, they can recognize there is a receptors, ZP3 receptors, zona pellucida receptors. They can accept for the ovulation only human sperm. Okay, so zona pellucida is the right answer for this question. Yeah, next question. Yeah, which structure act as temporary endocrine gland during the pregnancy? Placenta, ovary, pituitary, corpus albicans. Which structure act as temporary endocrine gland? Okay, temporary endocrine gland. Okay, placenta, ovary, pituitary and corpus albicans. Okay, it is about placenta, guys. Direct question, placenta. Placenta. Okay, yes, it is a direct question, guys. I hope you guys understand about these hormones. Yeah, next question. Yeah, the first movement of the fetus appearance, hair and head usually observed during the which month? This is thoda innovative question, guys. 2016. Okay, 2016 development of the fetus. Okay, fetus appearance of hair and head. Hair and head observed during the which month? Which month? Okay, this is direct question, guys. Thoda innovative, nobody can expect this question. The development, embryonic development stage, the hair and head which is produced in the 5th month. 5th month answer. 5th month is answer, direct question in the development. Okay, yes. Next question. Yeah, the man has low sperm count and decreased LH levels. Which gland is mostly likely to the malfunction? Sorry. Yeah. Okay, the man, okay, has low sperm count, decreases LH levels, okay, malfunction of which gland? Malfunctions, okay, which gland? Testis, hypothalamus, adrenal gland and prostate gland. Okay, prostate gland is nothing but it is male sex hormones. They can support for the sperm transfer. It is not answer. Yeah, actually the sperm count decreases LH level, LH level. Okay, yeah, that is hypothalamus, guys. Hypothalamus is the right answer. Hypothalamus is the right answer. Okay, yes. So just look into here. As I told you, hypothalamus, there is in the human brain diencephalon part, okay, third ventricle, this is the hypothalamus. Hypothalamus, they can release gonadotropin releasing hormones into the pituitary, Pituitary can release LH and FSH. This is the pituitary, where below the hypothalamus, this is the gland pituitary. This can be released LH and FSH. Before that, this is the hypothalamus, which is involved in the male hormones, which is luteinizing hormone or FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. Okay. Yeah, guys, I hope you guys understand this. You guys understand this session. Tomorrow we will go through the next questions, next 30 questions. Okay, this is 1000 practice questions, very, very important and innovative questions in each topic, guys. Don't miss it. Okay, thank you.